family and friends at that moment of loss and need to Mama's glorious transition. And we truly cherish your support. Thank you, and may God bless you abundantly. Signed, Senator Mwabongwe. This is another letter from Senator Andrew Chendo, invitation to my Thanksgiving service. I'm most pleased inviting His Excellency the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki and the distinguished senators of the 8th Assembly to my Thanksgiving service, scheduled to hold on the 28th of April, 2018 at Port Harcourt. A formal invitation card will be issued later to all distinguished colleagues. His Excellency, my journey to the Senate has been very tortuous and long drawn, but the good Lord finally saw me through. To Him alone shall all the glory go. I will therefore be greatly honored with the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Senate, and my distinguished colleagues on this particular occasion. Sincerely yours, Senator Andrew Chendo, OON. Further announcement, this is from Senator Basi Albert Akpan. I most humbly invite you and request the presence of Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, our special guest, and my distinguished colleagues to my constituency briefing and empowerment program with the team celebrating God's faithfulness, scheduled as follows: Friday, April 20th, 2018, 11 a.m. prompt, Uyo Township Stadium. I, my family, and entire constituents will be greatly honored by your esteemed presence at this epoch-making event. While appreciating you for a great honor, please be rest assured of my continued support and loyalty. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the presence of members of the National Association of Kano State Students, University of Abuja. All right, you're most welcome. Please settle down. Thank you. Senate Leader. Yes, Senator Marafa.
Thank you, Mr. President. My well-respected colleague, Senator Ebiru Garba Marafa, CON, representing them for Central. Mr. President, I rise under Order 42. With your permission, I read. The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before the commencement of the day sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. If the claim is allowed by the President of the Senate and the leave of the Senate is given by at least 1/5 of the senators, the matter shall stand over till the next legislative date. Mr. President, on Sunday, 15th of April 2018, one director of Food and Strategic Reserve of Federal Ministry of Agriculture, one Sule Haruna, announced on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria the approval by Mr. President to issue from the nation's strategic reserve 30,380 metric tons of assorted grains to disaster-prone areas of this country, especially the Northeast, which took 10,000 metric tons, followed by Benue and the Nasarawa states, 3,180 metric tons. Mr. President, I was concerned that the name of Zamfara State was conspicuously missing. Mr. President, let me say that Zamfara...
Are you moving the motion, or you want to seek leave to bring another legislative day? No, what do you want to achieve? Pull back a microphone.
Mr. President, from government statistics, a total of more than 2,000 people were killed in Zamfara State between 2011 and today. Independent statistics put a figure at about 10,000 people killed. This incidence is happening almost on a daily basis. Even last week, about 26 people were killed. Yesterday, another village was attacked. Mr. President, taking a statistics of just about 10,000 people living at least two wives, that is about 20,000 widows left in the care of nobody. And if you take maybe a modest statistics of 5 children per family, you are talking about 50,000 orphans in the first state without care of anybody. Mr. President, I feel this is a national disaster, and I want to crave your indulgence and the support of my colleagues to bring a motion tomorrow that will urge the federal government to include the first state in whatever program they are doing as regards refugees and IDPs, sir. I so submit, Mr. President.
All right. It's okay if you listen to him. Those in support that the formal motion be brought tomorrow to deal with the issue of including Zamfara in this intervention, say aye. Those against saying nay, the ayes have it. So it is.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Sam Anyanwu. I represent Imo East in Imo State. Mr. President, I want to invoke Order 43. With the leave of Mr. President, I wish to read. Mr. President, Order 43. By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation, although there will be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise on the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of the Senate when he is leave to make his thoughts. I so.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I would like to invoke some sections of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, especially Section 80, 2 and 3. If I have a leave, I will read, Mr. President. Section 80, 2 and 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 1999, as amended, 2 says, no monies shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation except to meet expenditure that is charged upon the fund by the Constitution, or when the issue of those monies has been authorized by an appropriation act, supplementary appropriation act, or an act passed in the pursuance of Section 81 of this Constitution. 3. No monies shall be withdrawn from any public fund of the Federation other than the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation unless the issue of those monies has been authorized by the Act of National Assembly. No monies shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund or any other public fund of the Federation except in the manner prescribed by the National Assembly. Mr. President, I have it in good authority Mr. President, that in March 2018, from the Federation account, a whopping sum of $462 million was withdrawn and paid for helicopters to an American firm called Helicopter Techno Fight Helicopters. And this without the approval of the National Assembly. I've been in the Senate, Mr. President, and I know there was no time, there was any request from this Senate for any such withdrawal from the country.
Just a minute. We've crossed the part for petition now. We will take it tomorrow because there is sequence in our. Sorry about that. We'll take it tomorrow. There's Senator Adokwe.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'd like to come on Order 42 and 52. With your permission, I'll read.
Yes, go ahead. Put back our microphone.
The matter for discussion shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. Under 52 is to dispense with the order. I had briefed you earlier on on the crisis going on in the southern senatorial district of Nasarawa State. If Mr. President will allow me, I should like to...
Go ahead.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is with a tragic sense of loss that I'd like to draw the attention of this Senate to an ongoing crisis in the southern district of Nasarawa State. Throughout the weekend and up to the moment of speaking, herdsmen have unleashed terrorist mayhem across the southern senatorial district of Nasarawa State, leaving in their wake several dead bodies, numerous wounded persons, and hundreds of thousands of internally displaced persons. Their victims are largely the Tiv-speaking ethnic nationalities, with a reported death toll of about 32 persons, and we are still counting. Distinguished colleagues, the real tragedy is not really in the well-coordinated and simultaneous carnage across Awe, Obi, Kiana, and Doma local government areas of Southern Senatorial District. But the tragedy lies in the fact that for 4 days running, this mayhem continued unhindered, unchecked, and stopped by any arm of the state law and security enforcement agencies. Indeed, right under the noses of the armed forces and the police, this carnage sustained, unabated, and downright aided by sheer negligence of the refusal to act of security forces. It is very, very sad that in a country such as Nigeria, with several arms of the armed forces, a whole senatorial district will go on punished by militia for 4 days running with no action coming from government. This is a sad commentary. It is even with a lot of impunity that yesterday we all woke up to see that the entire city of Abuja was under siege. This country is gradually falling into anarchy, and we need to wake up to our responsibilities. It is very, very sad that cops are just being littered everywhere. As I speak to you now, the southern senatorial zone has completely been emptied of by the militia, and they are occupying all the houses and villages of the Tiv people across 4 local governments out of 5. And these local governments are just within 30 minutes drive from the state capital. And believe me, sincerely speaking, there is even an army base close to where this carnage is taking place, with no one single shot being fired by the army. It baffles me, it beats my imagination, that a whole enforcement agency of the Nigerian state will stand by and witness Nigerians being killed aimlessly. Nobody can explain this. It is no wonder that very eminent Nigerian citizens have said that the responsibility to defend yourself lies in your own hands, no longer in the arms of the Nigerian security forces. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I beg your pardon, distinguished colleagues, I am very emotional on this matter, and I'm not one given to emotion very easily. But what I've gone through this weekend is very horrifying. It is very distressing. It is very sad. It is as if we are in a Hobbesian state where anything goes, where life is short, where life is brutish, where there is absence completely of state power and security. We call on the federal government to stop this carnage. My prayers on this matter are very, very simple. That many as it will seem, I will call on my colleagues to rise for 1 minute silence in respect of 32 lives that have been so far lost, and we are still counting, and also to urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to direct